Tell me which companies you're accusing of price fixing. You said some were price fixing, and I want to know which ones.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I may report them myself.
the company that's absolutely under investigation by the DOJ
Which
is
ones are
Agristat.
price fixing?
I think the Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Justice should take a close look at the four major grocers. They should take a close look at the four major meat packers.
There are currently
there's pending litigation.
Which companies are price fixing?
Tyson is a great example. Tyson, the large meat packer.
Okay, who else?
The big four meat packers are all
Who else?
currently
That's one. Who else?
Like I said, I think looking at the four major grocers makes sense in this setting.
Which four are price fixing?
Walmart, Albertsons,
Walmart's price
Kroger.
Fixing. Wait.
I didn't say they were. I said taking a look.
You just said they were. You can't come here and say and imply they're price fixing and then say they're price fixing. That's a serious allegation. You can be sued for defamation.
Senator John Kennedy delivered one of the most relentless witness interrogations in congressional history when he cornered Dr. Owens over price-fixing allegations in America's food industry. Dr. Owens suggested major companies, including Walmart, Albertsons, Tyson, and Kroger, were engaged in price-fixing, a serious federal crime. But when Kennedy demanded specific names, the witness began deflecting to ongoing investigations and regulatory suggestions, refusing to make direct accusations. Kennedy wasn't having it. He reminded Dr. Owens that price fixing can result in prison time and defamation lawsuits, demanding that she either substantiate her accusations or retract them. The exchange peaked when Kennedy delivered his famous line, telling the witness she was waving like a catfish and needed the courage to state her beliefs in front of God and country. This masterclass in interrogation versus evasion reveals how witnesses attempt to imply corporate wrongdoing without accepting accountability for formal accusations. Let's dive into the main video.
Thank you, Senator.
Dr. Owens, you talked about in order to commit a crime, you have to have means, motive, and opportunity. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you have suggested that it's not an optimal situation to have. Well, strike that. Let me just get after it here. What crime are you accusing the four major food companies of?
Price gouging, sir.
Okay. You think they're price fixing?
In some cases, absolutely.
Okay. Name the four companies that you are accusing of price fixing.
In the grocery sector or more broadly?
The four you've been talking about.
I mean, so I think...
Name me every company that you think is price fixing in violation of the antitrust laws.
Yeah, I mean, so the most recent example that I think is worth considering is Agristat.
Yes, ma'am, but if you don't mind, we'll come back and do the examples. Name me the companies that you're accusing of price fixing.
Well, the first one is Agristat, which the Department of Justice has sued for price fixing.
Who else?
In the grocery sector, we've got Walmart, we've got Kroger.
Walmart is price fixing.
No, I haven't accused them of price fixing. What I've said is that they're able to expand their markup.
Let me start over here. I want you price fixing is a serious crime, Doc. You can go to jail for that. And I want to be sure I understand your testimony. Who are you accusing of price fixing?
Yeah, look, what my testimony clearly states
is that... Tell me which companies you're accusing of price fixing. You said some were price fixing, and I want to know which ones.
Yeah, I mean, look...
I may report them myself.
The company that's absolutely under investigation by the DOJ
Which ones are price fixing?
I think the Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Justice should take a close look at the four major grocers. They should take a close look at the four major meat packers.
There are currently
there's pending litigation.
Which companies are price fixing?
Tyson is a great example. Tyson, the large meat packer.
Okay, who else?
The big four meat packers are all currently
That's one. Who else?
Like I said, I think looking at the four major grocers makes sense in this setting.
Which four are price fixing?
Walmart, Albertsons,
Walmart's price
Kroger.
Fixing. Wait.
I didn't say they were. I said taking a look.
You just said they were. You can't come here and say and imply they're price fixing and then say they're price fixing. That's a serious allegation. You can be sued for defamation.
I said we should take a close look at the companies.
Let me go back. I want to be sure I understand your testimony. Are you telling me right here today that you're accusing Walmart of price fixing?
I'm not personally accusing Walmart of price fixing. I am suggesting
Who are
that
you accusing of price fixing? That's a serious charge.
neither my written testimony nor my oral testimony makes explicit legal claims.
So you're not accusing anybody of price fixing.
No, I have pointed out that the Department of Justice is currently looking
Who
at
are
price
you
fixing
accusing
by
of price
agri-stats.
fixing? Why won't you answer my question? Who are you accusing of price fixing?
I'm pretty sure I have answered your question.
No, you
Senator.
haven't. Just tell me the names of the companies, one by one. What's the first company that you're accusing of price fixing?
I've mentioned AgriStats is currently
Agra,
investigating.
what?
AgriStats.
All right, who's number two?
I said Tyson's is currently under
Tyson's
investigation for
is price fixing.
Yeah.
Who's number three?
I've also said that I think the Department of Justice and the FTC should take a close look at
Who's
the
number three?
major grocery
Who's number
retailers.
three? Is Walmart price fixing?
I think that they should take a look at the
Is
extent to
Walmart
which
price fixing?
They should take a look at it.
Is Walmart price fixing?
I can't currently answer that question. I said that the
You
Department
won't
of
answer
Justice.
that question.
No, I
How
said
about
that
Albertsons? Is Albertsons price fixing?
the Department of Justice and the Federal Trade Commission
Is Albertsons price fixing?
should take a close look at that.
Is Albertsons price fixing?
Again, I think the Department of Justice should take a close look.
You don't want to say.
No,
Now,
I mean, look, I'm not at the FTC. I'm not at the DOJ.
yes,
It's
ma'am,
not-
but you've
it's my
accused
job
these
to
companies of breaking the law, and I think that you ought to have the courage to say in front of God and country what you believe. Now, you either do or you don't.
Look, I believe that when companies get larger and larger,
I understand
and
what
larger,
you believe,
it
but I
becomes
understand
easier and
you're waffling.
easier
You're
and
waffling
easier to
like a
coordinate.
bank catfish, okay?
It's
The intense interrogation between Senator John Kennedy and Dr. Owens was far more than political theater. It was a necessary defense of fundamental principles of justice, accountability, and intellectual honesty essential to American democracy. Kennedy's relentless pursuit of clarity wasn't merely justified, it was his constitutional duty as a senator charged with protecting both congressional integrity and American businesses from reckless allegations. Kennedy understood what Dr. Owens either failed to grasp or deliberately ignored, that accusing major corporations of federal crimes carries enormous consequence, regardless of whether accusations are phrased as direct charges or cloaked in academic language about what regulators should investigate. Price fixing is a serious federal crime that can result in prison time, massive fines, and destroyed reputations. Making such allegations demands evidence and courage to stand behind one's words. The senator's approach demonstrated sharp, no-nonsense leadership that Americans desperately need. He refused to allow a witness to hide behind bureaucratic jargon when making allegations that could destroy companies and eliminate jobs. Kennedy's repeated demands for specific names weren't harassment. They were the most basic requirement of fairness and due process. If Dr. Owens truly believed Walmart, Albertsons, or Tyson were engaged in criminal price fixing, she had an obligation to state that clearly and present evidence. If she lacked sufficient proof, she had no business implying wrongdoing in congressional testimony broadcast nationwide. The witness's evasive testimony revealed exactly the kind of cowardly approach that undermines public trust. Dr. Owens wanted the influence that comes from suggesting corporations are breaking the law while avoiding accountability for making those suggestions. She tried to plant suspicion without accepting legal and ethical responsibility for formal accusations. This intellectual dishonesty of the highest order deserved to be called out forcefully. Kennedy's memorable phrase that Dr. Owens was waving like a catfish perfectly captured the slippery, evasive testimony attempting maximum impact with minimum responsibility. His demand that the witness have the courage to state beliefs in front of God and country was a fundamental call for moral backbone required of anyone testifying before Congress. The senator's protection of these companies wasn't corporate favoritism. Walmart, Albertsons, and Tyson collectively employ hundreds of thousands of Americans and play critical roles in national food security. Allowing witnesses to casually imply criminal conspiracies without clear accusations and evidence is gross injustice, with real consequences for innocent employees, shareholders, and communities depending on these businesses.